For more, let's bring in House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Jason Smith. Chairman, nice to see you today. All right, so 2026, expectations are pretty high for what the big, beautiful law is going to deliver. Walk us through this. Tell Americans where they're going to see the money showing up that's going to give them some relief.
So next year, you're going to see the largest tax refunds in history for average day Americans. The bill that we passed on July 4th, the Working Families Tax Cut, the big, beautiful bill, it is the largest tax cut in U.S. history. And a lot of the provisions within that bill, such as increasing the child tax credit and making that permanent, increasing the guaranteed deduction and making that permanent. That is something that 91% of Americans use to file their taxes. But we also provided other beneficial tax items like no tax on tips. And that's above the line that actually can go towards the standard deduction. We increased the senior deduction to create no tax on Social Security, as the president was asking. And we also eliminated tax on overtime. These provisions alone will allow people's wages to grow exponentially next year with larger refunds.
Chair, Congressman, this showed up in my inbox, and I'm going to pick a little bone about it because Brian's heard me talk about it. So the Trump accounts, they're investment accounts, essentially IRAs for kids, but they're seeded for the next 4 years. I'm not talking about the Dell money. I'm talking about the $1,000 that essentially was borrowed on the backs of taxpayers that's been put into every one of them for 4 years. This is at a time when we're roughly $38 trillion in debt. We're paying $100 billion more or over that per month on interest on the national debt, when encouraging family formation and childbearing and raising children is already one of the most subsidized behaviors in this country. Why did we need to create what will turn out to be another entitlement?
This will be absolutely transformational. In fact, I would disagree and not view it as an entitlement. It will view it where people will become capitalist and they will see that their investment within the stock market will grow. It will be transformational. There's less than 50% of Americans that actually own stocks. It's the wealthiest that own stocks. And when you look at those provisions in there, that will actually reduce the future of entitlements. And it will also be very helpful for these young children who may not have Social Security by the time they get there.
All right, Congressman, I'm not going to pick a bone with you on that one, but I do want to ask you about beyond tax refunds this coming year. I want to talk about people's after-tax paychecks. Does the big, beautiful bill mean that people are going to see higher after-tax income throughout the year, not just tax season, but throughout the year because that bill got passed?
Without a doubt, because the withholdings will be adjusted at the beginning of next year. All of those items will reap the benefits. Whether it's a no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, tax relief for seniors, the standard deduction, the child tax credit, and then of course you have the small business provisions that's in the bill, 100% expensing, the interest deductibility expensing, even addressing the death tax provision. There's several items within the bill. It's going to have a huge effect, but tax is just one aspect of affordability. What you have to remember is that in the Biden administration, inflation went up more than 20 percentage points over a 4-year period, and we've gotten inflation down to the lowest levels in 4 years, right about 2.5%. But we need to continue to go farther because it's expensive to put food on your table, clothes on your backs, and gasoline in your cars, and that's because the prices have raised by more than 20% over the last 4 years.
Reckless spending by Democrats has made health care, in particular health insurance, more expensive and unaffordable. And I will point to the massive Obamacare fraud that was uncovered by the Government Accountability Office. It did a little test case where it submitted 24 cases or 24 submissions, fictitious accounts for coverage, and 23 of them were approved for coverage. So if you break it down, nearly all of these fictitious people were allowed to enroll and get subsidies. This is without verification of identity. And there was one instance where one Social Security number was applied for 125 different policies. And this is at a time when it's under discussion to extend these expanded subsidies, these supersized subsidies that were supposed to end at the end of this year. It's time to end them, Congressman. This is not hard times for anybody. It's fraud.
You're exactly right. That is why last year, myself, Chairman Kathy McMorris Rogers, and Chairman Jim Jordan asked the GAO to do an investigation of the waste, fraud, and abuse within the Obamacare exchanges, and they did it. And this is the report that came last week. You hit several of the top items, which are absolutely atrocious, but let me give you another one. There were 59,000, more than 59,000 people that they were having subsidized health insurance, but they were dead. They were absolutely dead. They weren't alive at any moment throughout that process. The waste, fraud, and abuse in it is terrible. And what's the Democrats' approach? They just want to extend current policies. The Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, should be called the Unaffordable Care Act, because since it's passed, you've seen premiums go up 80%, 150 hospitals have closed. It's been nothing but a disaster. Not one American will say that healthcare is cheaper now before its passage.
Congressman, do not extend that putrid thing. We got to leave it there. Jason Smith, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Good to see you.
All right.